Hi, I'm Steve Robertson, the founding CEO and president of Infinitum Copper. Infinitum is a company that was founded by Emerging Markets Capital out of Hong Kong to create a premier copper explorer. And we're starting off with a high quality project down in Mexico called Adelita, and we'll be adding more projects to the portfolio as time goes on. We're still in a private company. We're seeking our listing on the TSX Venture Exchange, and we're hoping that we'll achieve that sometime very soon. I will be having forward-looking statements in this presentation. I encourage you to go to the website to read this in detail. So the thesis behind the company is to acquire high-quality assets, acquire them in places where we're comfortable working, and we're going to surround ourselves with a world-class team. And of course, we're starting off with the Adelita project, great project down in Mexico that's got about 6,500 hectares and plenty of low-hanging fruit in terms of exploration opportunities that have not been exploited yet. So really, we're off to a running start. This is the capital structure of the company. About 11 million shares outstanding, and then we raised some money. Our intention is to actually raise $4 million before we go public, and we're doing the public process by reverse takeover of a shell. It's been cleaned up and rolled back to 3 million shares. And so when we actually start trading on the venture exchange, we should have about 37 million shares outstanding. The 6 million shares going to Sonora Gold as part of the option agreement to acquire the Adelita project. We'll have a market cap of about $15 million at 40 cents and $4 million in the bank. So the team, myself, I'm an exploration geologist. I worked for 24 years in Vancouver for a company called Imperial Metals, and there I led the exploration of the Red Chris project before it was developed. And then when we developed the project, I also was on the development team. So had a great breadth of experience with Imperial to be able to set myself up for a career as a CEO. Peter McGaw is a well-known expert in carbonate replacement deposits, one of the founders of Mag Silver, and has a number of exploration discoveries to his credit. Peter's equivalent in the porphyry world would be Doug Kerwin. Doug, again, fabulous reputation for making discoveries. He spent a lot of time at Ivanhoe as their executive vice president, and under his leadership, there was a number of discoveries made, not the least of which was the Hugo Dummett zone there. And he continues to have the same amount of passion for the industry that he has had his entire career. And Jorge Ramiro Monroy, the founder of Emerging Markets Capital, and he really is the founder of Infinitum. Came up with the idea and recruited me to be the CEO, and he's also the CEO of Reina Silver. So great team. We're going to continue to build on our team and expand our expertise through that. There's a map showing the project. So right on the border between Sonora and Sinaloa, we're right next door to the Alamo Dorado mine. So this is a mine that Pan American Silver operated to exhaustion in 2017. And interestingly enough, the mineralized system that is at Alamo Dorado, we believe that it was actually driven by an intrusive that's sitting on our property right next door. And the zones that we're going to be exploring are driven off that same intrusive. So it's a very productive district scale system, and we really feel that it's been underexploited in terms of exploration, despite the fact that it was right next to an operating mine. Very little work has been done on this property to date. We do have an option to earn 80% of the project from the Sonora Gold, and after we satisfy the option conditions, we'll form a joint venture with Sonora. This is a map showing the different zones on the property. A month ago, this map would have had 7 zones on it, but we've already got a crew out on the ground, and they've been further defining some of these areas, and we've got it up to 11 zones that are going to be addressed during the upcoming exploration season. The main showings that you need to know about here, Mezquital, that's the porphyry, so intrusive, buried under the low topography of the valley bottom. But we can confirm that that is an intrusive, porphyritic intrusive that is mineralized with copper and molybdenum. And of course, the best known zone that we've got outboard of that is the Cerro Grande. And that's where the biggest focus of work has been on the property to date. It's a skarn zone with rich copper, silver mineralization, some gold in there as well. The gold seems to be a later population. Grades go up and down a little bit more. Silver and copper seem to be a little bit better disciplined in terms of their relationship to one another. And this zone has been proven to be at least 400 meters long, 300 meters deep. It's still open in every direction. And most of these other zones that you see here are completely underexplored and really are, once again, low-hanging fruit in terms of our ability to go in and further explore them. This is the Cerro Grande zone. It is shown, the skarn alteration is shown here in red, and the drill holes that you see, they're shown by the red or the green collars. And the amount of drilling that's done on this property, it's only about 6,500 meters in total. So still lots of opportunity for us to go in and do additional work to further expand this. This is a look at the cross section through the middle of the Cerro Grande zone. And you can see some of these drill holes were nicely placed to cross the zone. Some of them not ideal in terms of their orientation, but you know, this is pretty impressive that they were able to drill in a previous program straight down the zone. That doesn't give you a lot of good information, but it's pretty impressive that they were able to stay in 185 meters of continuous skarn alteration mineralization. So it speaks to the strength of the system, I think. The fact that we've got, you know, drill holes like that are drilling down the zone and staying in consistent alteration and mineralization, but also that we're 3 kilometers away from the edge of the intrusive here and still in the skarn zone. So all this tells me that this is a big system, long-lived multi-phase system, and those are the types of systems you want to be in to find rich, large zones. This is a summary of some of the drilling that's been done to date, some of the highlights. You can see the triple or double asterisk footages here, the ones that are drilled down the zone, but the rest of them are pretty close to being true thicknesses. And we've got a range from 3.5 meters up to 37 meters thickness. So pretty impressive from that perspective, but also impressive in terms of the grades that are intercepted. So lots of these drill intercepts are better than 2% copper equivalent. And copper, silver, and a smattering of gold that kind of jumps around. Some of the history of work that's been done on the property, it's mostly his modern era of work, and the drilling, again, about 6,500 meters of drilling. Lots more work to do to fully define this zone. We're going to continue to push out these numbers. The 400-meter strike length and 300-meter depth extent will be pushed to see if we can make that envelope bigger. Here's a photograph of the north slope. So the photograph is looking south at the Cerro Grande zone, and you can see the skarn shown by the red stipple coming down the hillside here. There's a small adit up in this area. It was driven in the early 1990s, just a straight drive in 40 meters. Some high-grade mineralization was hand-cobbed out of there, put into a truck, and taken off to a custom miller to make some money. But that's really the only underground working on the property. There's also a small adit that's over on another zone called Las Trancas, and we really don't know what the history of that is, and it's a fairly small working. So not a lot of work done here. As it goes down to the north here, you can see it is shown as pinching out, but of course it doesn't stop there, it just goes undercover. So that'll be part of our challenge in the upcoming exploration program, will be to follow that zone further to the north. And we're going to use a geophysical technique called NSAMT, Natural Source Audio Frequency Magnetotellurics. This is a geophysical technique that I've used in this type of system previously successfully, and we think it'll help guide our drilling as we look for the extension further to the north and to depth. Some of the geophysics that's been done on the property over the years. This is an IP survey that's been done over the heart of the property. It responds well in that it gives us the type of response that we would expect. Over here at the skarn zone, Cerro Grande, we do not see a chargeability high. As a matter of fact, it's a resistivity high. And over here at the porphyry, you see this beautiful chargeability high wrapping around the south end of the intrusive. So this is probably a pyrite halo, again, sitting underneath of the valley bottom. So not very well exposed, but this is an area that we'll be able to get further knowledge about from our upcoming drilling program. Soils in geochemistry and soils program has been done over the heart of the program property as well, and you can see over at the Cerro Grande, nice copper anomaly, some downslope dispersion. But what's really impressive here, mesquital, that's the porphyry, you'll recall. Look at the scale bar here. That's a kilometer down at the bottom, and you can see that this nice copper anomaly is about 4 kilometers long, sitting over top of the intrusive. So a fairly substantial copper and soil anomaly. And you see the same thing when you look at the molybdenum. No response over top of the skarn, but over the porphyry, you get this big, broad anomaly sitting right over top of where the intrusive is. This is the zinc in soil geochemistry. No response over top of the porphyry as one would expect. We're zoomed in a little bit more on the skarn zone here. And again, no response up in the north end, but down toward the south end of the skarn zone, you see the zinc starting to pick up in the soils. And that matches well with the expected zonation you would see in this type of intrusive-related carbonate replacement system. So that's the very simple thesis for our company as we go public. We've got a great asset to start off with that has been completely underexplored to date. We are going to be, doing a substantial exploration program on this project. We're starting the company with $4 million in the bank, and that'll certainly be enough to get us through the first exploration season, plus keeping the company going. And we're going to continue our search for high quality assets in the right jurisdictions. We're going to continue to build our team, and we're hoping to be public soon, so you can find out more about us, and we'll have some regular news flow over the coming months. Thanks very much for your attention. And if you want to get more information about the company, here's how you can contact us. And there's our website there, www.infinitumcopper.com. Thanks very much.